On January 2nd, 2014, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been furnished by inclusion thereof in the annual schedule of meetings for 2014, which has been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, attached to the Hour Town, the record of the Community News and County Seat newspapers, and distributed all persons with any requesting copies the same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Everyone please rise for the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we do the roll call, tomorrow being Veterans Day, I ask that we take a moment to remember all the veterans and all the men and women who serve in uniform for our country. Roll call.
Mayor Padovano.
Present.
Council members Lindenau,
Here.
Baroni,
Here.
Eisenberg,
Here.
Messer is absent. Debray,
Here.
Ballerini,
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald Dario,
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Pellegro is here, Borough Administrator Roberta Stern.
Present.
I commend Councilman Maloney for using his new voice. Engineers report, Borough Engineers report, Mr. Flynn.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and Council, tonight we issued an engineer's report dated November 5th for tonight's meeting. The first item is the Economic Recovery Program project. I know the Borough Attorney is working diligently to acquire, again, the necessary easements from the Hanchin property and the Maywood office building located off of Spring Valley. Once those are acquired, the project will move forward accordingly. The second project on page 2 relates to the DOT road program, which included Spring Valley Road, the West Fairmont Avenue parking lot, and East Hunter Avenue. This past month, Spring Valley Avenue was paved by the contractor of the project. At this time, the project's completed, other than some punch list items that need to be addressed, and then the project would be closed out accordingly. The next item on the list on page 3 is the PSE&G road improvement improvement project on Central Avenue. That project, the construction was occurring on Maywood Avenue, on Central Avenue between Maywood Avenue and Ramapo Avenue, and as of today they are working directly at the intersection of Maywood and Central. That project's ongoing. Maywood Avenue Streetscape Project, the Borough received a grant in May. Our office had issued a proposal for consideration by the governing body. We would recommend that the governing body consider that project and the proposal accordingly and potentially move forward with it within the next few months, just so not to jeopardize the funds that the Borough received in May. The next project is the Bergen County Open Space Memorial Park project. This past month, for cleanup, the lowest soliciting contractor completed the retaining wall project at the Little League field that fronts Spring Valley. That project was completed during the week of October 31st. Another item related to a solicitation that we had acquired for the changing of the light posts to be decorative in nature within the Spring Valley parking lot. That lowest quote was issued by Quality Electric in the amount of $22,431. We issued a recommendation letter to the governing body for review and consideration pending available funds for that project. The next item on the list on page 4 relates to the Parkway and Jersey Avenue DOT Municipal Aid Grant. Our office submitted on October 10th the full package to DOT. We would expect that the borough would hear back from the state sometime early to mid next year. The West Pleasant Avenue Traffic Circulation Project, which was the DOT discretionary aid that the borough had received in the amount of $30,000. Solicitation was issued. It was awarded at last month's meeting by to Straight Edge Striping, the amount of $20,000 $20,891.20. This Wednesday, there will be a pre-construction meeting being held at Borough Hall, and then subsequently, construction would proceed accordingly with respect to that. The final item on the list is the Bergen County call for projects for community development. We understand that the borough would like to file a grant in that form or fashion, and that they would like to file for ADA ramps throughout the municipality. We'd be glad to prepare that package unless the borough felt they'd like to file for another ADA improvement project, which could include ADA door openers or ADA restrooms at other locations, and we would just take direction from the governing body accordingly.
Mayor, if I may with that, the only thing that will make any sense for us right now, because we've done so many other ADA projects, would be the ADA curbs, which I spoke to Greg about, and hopefully they'll be preparing a list of streets where we can have that installed, and we'll use that for our application. Unfortunately, because of the change in the census, we're not eligible for any other money except ADA improvements. And eventually we'll have to do the many house, so it's good time, and Greg and I met, and he's going to help me identify locations so that we can include that in the grant application.
Okay, so you can work with
Yes.
to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Planning, with regard to the streetscapes, item number 4, what's the next step? Will your office work on a design for that?
Yeah, our office would first survey the right-of-way location. The first step would be to determine actually where the borough's boundary and the business's boundaries are, because there would need to be negotiations as it relates to who's going to contribute funds past that right-of-way line to continue the streetscape so it's consistent along that frontage of the roadway. So that would be the first step of the project. At the same time, we would be negotiating with Conrail in that location, CSX, just because there will need to be a substantial amount of coordination due to the close proximity of the streetscape improvements.
Okay, and what do you need from us at this point to start that process?
I know we submitted a proposal in May for consideration if the governing body thought it was acceptable. If it authorized us, we'd be glad to prepare the documents accordingly.
And with regard to the West Pleasant Avenue traffic circulation, the arrows, I think the police department said that they're having a meeting. I talked to the chief tonight. They have a meeting with your office?
Correct. As required by the DOT grant, there's a pre-construction meeting that will be held tomorrow at Borough Hall.
Wednesday.
Actually, yeah, sorry, I'm getting my meeting dates messed up because tonight's Monday. At Wednesday at Borough Hall with the contractor and our office and the police department to go over the project, set up a schedule so that that project can be completed.
Anybody else have any other questions for the engineer? One more item in your report, but the three of us, I guess the administrator and you and I drove around town back in August, and we talked about this once or twice before, and came up with the list of streets that should be on the rotation for the paving, trying to put together a master list, which I think your office quoted. To do them all at once would be about $4 million.
Correct.
But obviously, if we keep the list rolling, is there a way that you can, if we go over this, make sure we have on the same page, to digitize this list so that we can put it on the website?
Most definitely, we could easily do that.
So that people know that their streets are going to get paved and they're on the list, so to speak.
I just wanted to say thanks for the nice job on the zoning map. Looks really good.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for the borough engineer?
Thank you.
We have no proclamations or presentation. I know I talked to the chief of police about doing a proclamation for Mr. Diaz, Joey Diaz, at the next meeting, so hopefully we'll have that together at the next meeting to celebrate his accomplishment of running the New York Marathon and raising the funds that he did along the way. So we'll do that at the next meeting. And go to the meeting open to the public. Anybody from the public wish to speak to this? Closed meeting. Public hearing on pending ordinances, we do not have any. Correspondence of the borough clerk.
I would just like to report that last Tuesday we had 39.46% of our voters come out to vote, and Frank Messer and Ricky DeHeer both received the most votes for our two places that will be available on the council. And tomorrow, the 12th, on Wednesday, the 12th, the county will be counting any of the provisional votes if anybody's interested. I mean, we didn't have anything close where you would need, but if anybody's interested in other races or whatever, they'll be counting the provisionals at 6 p.m. on the 12th of November. And the agenda was slightly revised, adding one of the raffle license, thinking that our meeting was tomorrow, but that's all I have.
Okay. Borough Administrator.
I do not have a report, Mayor. I just have one item for a closed session this evening.
Borough Attorney.
I have no report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Lindenau.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no report tonight. Just to offer congratulations to Councilman Messer and Councilman-elect DeHare. Look forward to working with you.
Okay. Councilman Borough.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have nothing to report this evening, just to say, again, say the same thing. Congratulations to both Frank Messer and Ricky DeHeer. Look forward to working with you. That's it.
Councilman Eisenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. By the way, I like the new mic. I can be heard. There were a few fines handed out this week. We have a resident on Maywood Avenue that received a $2,000 fine for doing work without a permit, and a resident on East Hunter that received a $100 fine for not cutting their grass and taking care of their lawn. On other matters, the appeal period for the property on Esplanade has passed, and the borough attorney has informed me that it's now in collection. It was somewhere around $130,000. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's proceeding. On Essex Street, the office buildings, there were several new suites that they applied for permits for, and those are underway. The houses on Maywood Avenue are coming along nicely. There was a resident on Bell Avenue that had his storm pipes from his roof gutters, both of them going out onto the sidewalk. Of course, the first time it would have had a frost, it would have been a sheet of ice. So the building inspector instructed him to reroute it, and that's been done. And then I just have one item for closed session, and like my colleagues, I wanted to congratulate Mr. DeHeer and Frank in absence. Thank you, that's it.
Okay. Councilman Cabret.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to let everybody know the Board of Trustees of the Maywood Public Library will hold a special meeting at 12 p.m. on Wednesday, November 12th, in the Hack Park Auditorium at the Maywood Public Library, and formal action may be taken there. Also, with regard to the library, the windows in the front of the building, the library on the adult side, will be replaced with new high-energy, high-efficient windows. The money for those, the purchase of those windows will be provided by the Hack Park Foundation, and has been. That's right. Thank you. I believe the money is in our possession at this point. As I know John knows, and I'm sure some of the people on the council know, the Hack Park Foundation has in the past done all the purchasing and the bidding and all that for the various improvements that they've done to the library. And since the beginning of this year, they've asked the town to take that over now. They will be paying for it, but they asked us to take care of the property, the actual process, since it is our building. And along those lines, we'll have to go out to bid, and when that process is finished, I imagine sometime in the spring, Roberta, we'll get those in.
Yes.
Okay, so look to have some new windows in the spring. I'll keep council up to date on that as things take over. Some things happened over the last week that I want to comment on, and obviously there was an election, and I'd like to congratulate, as everyone else here did, Councilman Messar and Councilman-elect DeHare, not only for winning, but for the way they ran an honest and respectful campaign. And also I want to congratulate Danielle Ciccarelli, Gina Kiley, and Peter Cavo, for likewise running honest and respectful campaigns in their Board of Education bid, and I congratulate Mrs. Ciccarelli and Mrs. Kiley for their victories. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Council President Bellarmine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing of a policy nature to report on tonight, but I will echo the sentiments shared by this council. Congratulating Councilman Messar and Councilman-elect DeHare. I would also follow on with Councilman Fabray's congratulations to our newest members of the Board of Education, Mrs. Ciccarelli and Mrs. Kiley. I would also like to thank Mr. King and Mr. Rupp for their participation in this year's election and invite them to come to a council meeting to discuss some of the ideas raised in their weekend-long campaign. That's it, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Briefly, I'd also like to congratulate Councilman Messar and Rick DeHare on their win, and Danielle Ciccarelli and Gina Kiley on their win at the Board of Education. With regard to the election, I'd just like to reiterate that lawn signs are supposed to be removed within 4 days of an election. I'd like to see that hopefully all the lawn signs from this past campaign do get removed soon and not wind up rolling around in the town. Thank the engineer for your work on things that have gone on in Memorial Park. We've had some good improvements in the last few months, especially that retaining wall, which is
Looks great.
preserving the ball field from sliding off into Spring Valley Road. And looking forward to the U-turns on Pleasant Avenue being installed with the grant funds that we do have. I will remind everybody that we have the 3rd annual tree lighting ceremony on November 28th. We're going to have a horse-drawn carriage again, taking rides up and down Pleasant Avenue. Carolers, the Bergen County Harmonica Club will be there, and of course Santa Claus will be there as well. Hopefully we'll have video again, courtesy of Council President Bellarmine and his movie screen. And we're having, obviously we're putting up decorations again in the lobby here. The menorah and the Christmas tree will be up in the lobby again of 15 Park Avenue. This year's decorating theme is going to be along the lines of the history of Maywood, and this being the 100th year of Maywood's anniversary of its incorporation. I talked to Mike Jordan, the superintendent of schools. He's going to have the children at Maywood Avenue School, Memorial School, contribute some decorations to the tree again this year. So looking forward to that. And along the lines of Mr. Pliniak indicated, PSE&G is still continuing their work, as everybody I'm sure is well aware, at the intersection of Central Avenue and Maywood Avenue. Unfortunately, that's going to continue in the next 2 to 3 days because they're having a problem, I guess, getting underneath the Rochelle Park sewer line that runs through there, the gas lines that run through there, the 36-inch or 38-inch water line that runs through there as well, and they've apparently hit bedrock or some shale, I guess, of some sort, and it's slowing the process down. So unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with a few more days of that detour traffic. But on a wider note, I understand they are putting in the catch basins as part of this, and hopefully we'll alleviate some of the drainage issues that we've had at that intersection for many, many years. And I think that's all I have. I do have one contractual item for closed that may require us to come back out of closed to take action on if we deem to go that way. But we'll deal with that at closed. Along the lines of the police department, I talked to the chief tonight and just got a quote for one of those digital signs, mobile digital signs. You've probably seen them in Rochelle Park. It's a sign that's on a trailer that can convey messages, and that can be shipped around throughout the town. The chief has given one quote for $14,000 and is looking to utilize some of the DEA funds. I've had a conversation with him in the past about potentially getting one of these signs, but we'll have to look into see if there are other signs at cheaper rates. But this is a mobile message sign that can be trucked around the town and put up at different locations, and given the things that have been going on traffic-wise lately, perhaps that's not such a bad idea to have for the town, if the council wishes to utilize some of the money from the DDA fund for that purpose. But more to come on that in the future, I guess. That's, I think, all I have. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. The borough offices will be closed. The DPW will be closed. And I know the school is doing a service at 2 o'clock.
They're collecting.
And what's that?
DPW is collecting tomorrow.
Are they collecting?
Yes, we traded another
Oh,
day
this
with
is
the day
of
after.
trading?
Yes.
Okay. The DPW is not closed.
Oh.
Good. So the leaves pickup will
Yes.
continue. Okay. In any event, tomorrow there will be a service at school at 2 o'clock, recognizing or focusing on all the veterans of Maywood, and focusing, I think, on women of Maywood who have served. And there's also a service at 11 o'clock in Memorial Park. So I'll do that tomorrow. That's all I have. Action list items. If we go to the action list, the first one on the list is the zoning review. I know we're kind of running into the end of the year here. Obviously, to introduce an ordinance and get it adopted may be a little difficult at this point. However, the planning board has been formulating some proposals for some zoning ordinance changes, which include updating definitions of some of the uses that are permitted throughout the town, and updating some of the sign ordinance as it applies to window signs and things of that nature, and actually updating some of the application process. There's nothing before us right now, and I don't have anything to propose to you right now. However, the planning board will likely at their next meeting forward over some proposed ordinance changes that we can take a look at. And again, I don't know if we'll be able to process it quickly enough this year, because once we introduce the zoning ordinance adoption, it's got to go back to the zoning or planning board rather for their review and comments, and then come back to us for final adoption. So we are running out of time, but if in fact we do not get to it by the end of the year, at least the process will be started, and perhaps we can take action on it quickly in January, February. There are a lot of things that really need to be updated. Since taking office, it's been kind of a pet peeve of mine since I used to represent the planning board in town, and unfortunately, we just never got the comprehensive package of ordinance changes together. I think that the planning board's at that point right now that they'll be able to send us something for our consideration, and we'll take a look at it. That's all I really had about the zoning ordinance review. I just wanted to alert everybody that there very well may be coming an ordinance package from the planning board at this time. I don't know if anybody has any comments about that, and quite frankly, if you do have comments on any of the proposed or any of the existing zoning ordinances that you think may need to be amended, if you can get that information to Lynn Marie Gargagliano upstairs, the planning board secretary should pass them on to the planning board when they're putting together their comprehensive recommendation. So that's all I have on that one. Anybody else have any comments on that at this point? The next one was the vacant property issue that I think we passed around the draft, or the information that the borough attorney had given us at the last work session, I think. I don't know if anybody has comments on that at this point, and where do you want to go with that at this point? Mr. Eisenberg, you have any recommendations or thoughts?
I mean, I'm just going to defer it to the borough attorney. Sure.
Are we ready to introduce an ordinance?
I can't hear.
Everybody's got their own.
Sorry.
now.
Sorry about that, Gene. Can you hear me now? I said I think we should go forward with that, Mr. Mayor. And Mrs. Clever.
As do I.
We can maybe put that on for introduction at the next meeting in the form that is pretty soon presented.
I agree.
The next item is the RFQs. Annually, we put out for RFQs for borough attorney, borough auditor, borough engineer, bond counsel, labor attorney, insurance risk management consultant, insurance producer. I don't think the engineer's up at this point.
No.
We have time left on their contract, so we won't be putting out RFQs on them, but the other professionals that I listed, we normally put out the RFQs around this time of year. I would suggest that we make them returnable the day before our last meeting, which our last meeting is the 23rd. So the Monday before that is the 22nd, so that we could all at least start to look at them and be ready for the reorganization come January. Does anybody have an objection to putting out for the RFQs or getting that out? We have to notice it like we normally do, post it on the website, and have the packages available to pick up, correct? Just a notice.
More people than not ask us to email it to them now.
Right.
But we'll have them, I'll prepare them so we can have them ready.
We have to have them at least 10 days ahead of time, right?
Correct.
So if we can get them together before the, or around the...
When's the reorg? Do we have a date?
We don't have a date yet, we'll have to discuss that when it comes to December's meetings, but I think the first falls on a Thursday this year, which means Friday is the second.
Which will be closed.
Driving to Monday, yeah. So, probably Monday or Tuesday. Yeah.
Monday the 5th is a full moon, so.
All the more reason. All right. Don't know really what to comment on that, but... I know there'll be 7 crazy people sitting up here. All right, so if we put the RFQs out, maybe on the next one, that'll give enough time for them to be returnable.
Sure.
Okay. And then again for the borough attorney, borough auditor, bond counsel, labor attorney, risk management consultant, and insurance producer consultant. Just to add on to this action list, we talked about a little bit tonight, streetscape design. Does anybody have an objection to putting that on the next agenda to authorize the Negley engineer to get going with the design of the streetscape program on the south side of the borough, between the Hunter and the train tracks?
The sooner the better.
Yeah. All right. We'll get that on for next time. Does anybody else have anything on that you'd like to discuss for an action this item? All right. Back to the agenda. Okay, we have no resignations. We have 2 appointments. Jose Sarden as member of the Maywood Fire Police effective November 10, 2014, and Richard Buse as administrative assistant for an annual salary of $42,000. Is there a motion to put for approval of the appointments?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroni,
Yes.
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Sebre,
Yes.
Ballerini.
Yes.
Okay. Council approval of the following. From the Maywood Fire Department, permission to take Truck 17, Rescue 23, the Aaron Spots, and 1 ambulance to attend Wellington Parade on Saturday, November 29, 2014, at 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And from the Maywood American Legion, Post 142, permission to sell instant raffle games effective November 26, 2014 through November 26, 2015. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroni,
Yes.
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Sebre,
Abstain from 1, yes to 2.
Ballerini.
Yes.
Okay, resolutions by title.
Resolution 15614, resolution authorizing adjusting the clothing allowance for the fire police and fire department.
Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
Yes, motion to adopt. Second.
Roll call.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroni,
Yes.
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Sebre,
Abstain.
Ballerini.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinances.
Ordinance 1414, an ordinance adopting the zoning map for the Borough of Maywood and amending Chapter 209-24B of the Borough of Maywood Borough Code.
Is there a motion for the introduction of this ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion on this one, Mr. Mayor, and it just, as I was looking at it, I noticed the property adjacent to the church that was recently sold and subdivided is still represented on the map as one property.
It is, and all, the underlying tax map has not been changed. If you recall, we've had some prices on amending the underlying tax map that ranged, I guess, from a couple of $1,000s to $52,000. And I thought the discussion previously was that we were going to try to see if we can get some grant funding to do it digitally and do it the right way.
Okay.
But at this time, we don't have that. So this is actually based on the prior or the last version of the tax map. You also notice that Route 17, the interchange of Route 17 is not currently configured in the manner that's shown on this map. However, the property and the designations of the zones is proper where they lie.
That was my question today. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroni,
Yes.
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Fabreg,
Yes.
Ballerini.
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 1414 passed on first reading and that said ordinance will be further considered for final passage at the meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held on December 23rd, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. at the Borough Hall, 15 Park Avenue, Maywood, New Jersey, at which time and place all persons interested therein will be given the opportunity to be heard concerning the same. The Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law.
And this ordinance will be sent over to the planning board for their comments. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any new business? Any old business? Miscellaneous business. This being the 120th anniversary of the Borough of Maywood, I encourage everyone to learn about the history of Maywood. Read Mr. Kaminsky's book about the Borough of Maywood and the rail station. Look online at Maywood Historical Committee and pay attention to what Betty Fetzer says because she knows a lot about the history of the town. The trivia of the night regarding the history of the town. Since this being Veterans Day tomorrow, the American Legion Post 142 was founded in 1919, right after World War I ended. And they purchased the current building that they are in from the Maywood Athletic Association, not the NYAA, another Maywood Athletic Association, back in 1928, which was also the same year that the auxiliary was formed of the Maywood American Legion. Thousands of Maywoodians have served in uniform, and as you're probably aware, 19 members of our borough were killed in action. Many of the streets are named after them throughout the town. You notice the streets with the stars on them are all named after veterans or servicemen who were killed in action. Again, tomorrow's service at 11 o'clock at Memorial Park and 2 o'clock at Maywood Avenue School. I encourage everyone to come out and recognize the veterans. That is all I have. Again, we have a closed session item that I have, which is a contractual matter that may require us to come back out of closed. And I know that a couple other items, I presume personnel or contract? Personnel. Personnel. Can I have a motion to go into closed?
Motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Roll call.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroni,
Yes.
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Fabreg. Yes. Ballerini.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, Mayor and Council meet in closed session to discuss the following subject matters: personnel and contract. Be it further resolved that precisely as to determine at this time, the discussion conducted in such closed session can be disclosed to the public upon taking final action thereon, provided disclosure shall not violate attorney-client privilege or constitute undue invasion of privacy. Be it further resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood will return to open session possibly after this meeting.
But not, not county road, not commercial,
We're back on the record. It's 8:40. Just, can we do a roll call just for the record? Roll call? Can we do a roll call? Lindenau.
Maroni,
Here. Is Lindenau here?
Here.
Lindenau, Maroni, Eisenberg,
Here.
February.
Here.
Ballerini.
Here.
Okay, is there a motion to return to regular order of business?
Make a motion to return to regular order of business.
Second.
Roll call.
Lindenau.
Here.
Yes.
Yes.
Barone.
Yes.
Eisenberg.
Yes.
February.
Yes.
Ballerini.
Yes.
Too much Halloween candy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we have Resolution 157-14. It is a resolution authorizing a shared services agreement between the Borough of Maywood and Borough of Paramus for leaf collection and disposal. And I'll read it into the record. Whereas NJSA 40A:8A-1 et sec, the Interlocutory Services Act authorizes an agreement between municipalities for the provision by one to the other of services that one may lawfully provide on its own. And whereas the Borough of Paramus has solicited bids and awarded contracts for the fall 2014 collection and disposal season, and whereas the Borough of Maywood seeks to be included in leaf collection and disposal, and now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey, that they duly authorize the Mayor to execute a Borough Clerk and the Borough Clerk to attest to an agreement between the Borough of Paramus and the Borough of Maywood for leaf collection and disposal for the 2014 season, and a copy of said agreement shall be placed on file in the office of the Borough Clerk and shall be available for inspection during regular business hours thereof. Is there a motion to approve that resolution?
I'll second the motion, but just a quick discussion on this. It says the Borough of Paramus has solicited bids and awarded a contract, so this is not with the Paramus DPW.
It is with the Paramus DPW, that's regarding their disposal, I guess.
That's for the leaf tonnage part of it.
Okay, it says collection and disposal. So I don't know if that's important or not, but
Well, this is how
As a shared service,
This is from Paramus's attorney.
But this is the understanding that the agreement states that the Borough of Paramus will be making this pickup and will be disposing of the leaves that are picked up from the Borough of Paramus during the remainder of the 2014 leaf collection season, as is shown on our current leaf collection and grass collection and trash collection calendar for the calendar year 2014.
Question.
Yep.
Does this not have to say any kind of person?
The agreement will have that, but this is the understanding that the council has is that this is for $1,000 per week for the remainder of the 2014 leaf season collection, which in its entirety is 12 weeks. We've already at least 2 weeks into that right now.
yeah, wait a minute.
Can we put the tonnage rate on the record, or?
it's in the contract.
It's in the contract.
Approximately 6.63.
6.73, I
Oh,
think.
73, is that what it is?
You have it.
Yes, I do.
Which is less than
We're currently paying 11
And change.
so it's $5 savings per ton.
Per yard.
Per yard. Cubic yard it is.
6.63.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was 73.
$6.63. And here it says,
And the scope of services under the agreement that would be authorized for signature says that the Borough of Paramus will provide leaf collection to the Borough of Maywood pursuant to schedule attached. Exhibit is Exhibit A. The schedule attached has the weeks that are shown on our recycling calendar for the remainder of 2014. Where's the price?
what is it just here?
We recently picked up curbside 12 times for the total calendar schedule. Obviously, again, we're into this 2 weeks at this point, so we're going 10 times at a price of $1,000 per pickup.
Per week.
Per week. Per week.
Right.
It's a Tuesday pickup, correct. As is currently scheduled, our DPW sometimes takes a day and a half to do that, but they will be picking up per week.
You know, at the end of the day, I must say that obviously we get calls, oh, they didn't pick us up. We will still be sending our men out to accommodate our residents. I mean, I'm not going to call Paramus to go back
And our
So-
DPW will be removing the leaves from the public property
Right.
owned by the borough.
And individuals, as it happens, because that does happen. I mean, today someone called, they had 18 bags, they didn't know what to do with them. So, I mean, obviously that's still part of what our guys would do, but in the case that, say that we were in this contract, I wouldn't call Paramus to come back for 18 bags that somebody forgot to leave out. I would still have our guys, because at the end of the day, we cover, that little gap between people who don't do what they're supposed to do, so that we still maintain our residents' comfort when it comes to this.
We have to drive it to the dump, or we just take it over to the Paramus facility and live with that.
I'd have to deal with that on a case-by-case. I mean,
If
once...
we don't have a full truckload, it doesn't make sense to send a driver.
That's quite frankly neither here nor there, because in the totality, almost everything between brush and something, we always have a truck, and we don't go without
We
that.
still have to
But
do our own.
We still
We
have the
do our
public
own.
sites.
right, our own sites. So,
The park, Memorial Park alone probably
Right.
fills with
right,
tons of...
even though there are a lot of new trees
They
there,
don't go
so,
until it's full anyway.
right.
Good job.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen anyway. That's the missing spot.
Well, like I said, this is a test case. If it doesn't work for us, then next year we don't do it again.
It's going to have,
I guess it depends on what the moon cycle is at that point.
All right. Obviously, this is, kind of a last-minute thing. I understand that, obviously came together, right at the same time as our leaf collection. But I think, again, it's something that's beneficial for the borough, given the fact that we are down to DPW employees at combined starting salary of $90,000 a year.
Plus benefits.
Plus benefits. So, there was a motion, there was a second. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Lindenau,
Yes.
Maroni,
Yes.
Eisenberg,
Yes.
Cabret,
Yes.
Ballerine.
Yes. Is there anything else? Anyone has? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good.